fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Sampath, I love you because you help my mind and the minds of the rest of the world stay sharp with your proclivity to contradict everything that I or anyone say on any topic, regardless of whether you are an expert or not on that topic, including my dissertation defense on Cuban ballet.
Safely walk to school without a sound. Here we are, no one else will walk.
So every now and then, when we go to dinner at Sampath and Patrick's, they'll bicker about something, and there'll be a difference of opinion, and it will be something where there will be a right and wrong. And for instance, Sampath will say, it's blue, and clearly it's red, and Patrick will say, no, Sampath, it's red, and they'll go back and forth, and then eventually Sampath will appreciate that it is in fact red, and he'll say, oh no, that's what I said that it was red. And then Patrick gets very irritated. He's like, no, Sampath, that is not what you said. That is not what you said. And they bicker back and forth, and it's very funny.
I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She said I am the one.
So, and at the Berkeley Computer Science Department has exams for the grad students. I mean, not all departments do, but they do them. And they're actually pretty hard. There's one in hardware, one in software, and one in theory. So he took the theory exam and studied for it a bit, and he just did so well in it that he decided, okay, I'll take the software exam 3 days later. Spent like one day reading up a little bit, walked in and like great grades. I don't know if he got the top score or not, but he basically, without even studying, just walked in with his A's. He's so irritating, isn't he?
Sampath, I love you because of your solidarity with Latin America. This former guerrilla trainee from Berkeley University was in a former life a radical leftist who was ready to fight for the Sandinist revolution in Nicaragua.
This is a story about Sampath, who is flawless and polished in his existence. Most things seem to come very easily to him, and he moves through life with a lot of grace. And so those of us who know and love him treasure the stories in which he embarrasses himself. This is one such story. So this took place in, 1990 or something, when Menaka was about 2. We all went for a trip to Europe, and we took a long, long drive from the south of France to Barcelona, because Sampath and I really, really wanted to see Spain, so everybody else had to go along with it. So we drove to Barcelona. It was a long, long trip. We arrived very tired. Now, Sampath had studied some Spanish at Berkeley, knew a little bit of Spanish, used to sing all kinds of songs to me in Spanish, so I can vouch that, in fact, he did know some. We pull into the hotel in Barcelona, but rather than checking in first, we decide to go straight to the parking lot underneath the hotel. We pull into the parking lot, and the parking lot attendant says, "Su nombre, por favor," meaning, "Your name, please." And Sampath said, "No tengo nombre ahora," meaning, "I don't have a name right now." Of course, he was very tired, and nombre sounds like it could mean number, as in room number. But Sampath insisted again and again that at this point in time, he did not have a name.
So, I guess for me, the most telling memory of Sampath is from about maybe 94, 95, and I remember meeting him at that Wendy's on Walnut Street. We were both going to have a quick dinner from the dollar menu and then head over to the FU Center for a Michael Jackson concert. And it's such an image, that I'll never forget, because he had this very kind of severe red leather jacket with these shoulder pads that almost made like an arrow form, all quilted, beautifully done, Italian, I think.
you start to freeze. And so it looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed.
One eye, and he had a horrible time that night finding a babysitter for Menica, but at the last minute, I think he'd found someone maybe from a homeless shelter. Anyway, she was fine, she was happy, and she had like a big, like a slushie, like a blue slushie, and she was so happy with it in the corner. And he was so excited, and I knew that there was just nothing was going to keep him from this night. He'd been talking about it for weeks. And for me, it was such a privilege, you know, both, well, just to be present, you know, there in the presence of Michael Jackson live, but also to be there and just kind of experiencing Sampat's joy in the moment. And I remember we stopped, he stopped right in the middle, I think it was a crispy chicken. Anyway, and he put down his fribble, and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I don't have a moment to lose. And there was such like, such a quality of seriousness and almost of gravitas in his voice, you know, when he said it, and this kind of, I don't know, the look in his eye was something out of myth or legend. And I didn't know what to say. I just looked at him and I said, well, what's going on? You know, because I knew that we had that kind of a friendship where we could just relate on that level. And he said, I've got to practice. I've got to get this right. And I didn't ask another question. I just went out to the alley behind the Wendy's and I kind of pushed some of the old mayonnaise packets to the side and I made space for him. And all I can tell you, because I don't remember the words of that night, you know, I don't remember what was said or what was spoken. But what I do have so clearly in my head is just, you know, just Sampat right there, you know, that sort of red and black figure with that tremendous sort of tumble of curls, like I said, and that one gloved hand, just moonwalking back and forth, up and down that alley. And I'd seen moonwalks before, do you know what I mean? But what I saw that night was almost, it was just transcendent. You know, when the artist in a moonwalk gets it right, you really feel that they aren't touching the floor. Do you know what I mean? It's almost as though they were hovering. And I don't say this just because of his heritage in India, but it was almost as though he was levitating. You know, it was like that night he was imbued with some kind of a holy light. There was something just beaming off of him, and as he worked that moonwalk back and forth to the point where I really almost thought I was going to go out of his mind, I saw that each time he did it, it was closer to perfection. And I can really say to you that that night when I saw Mr. Jackson do it on stage, it was nothing. Nothing. It was a pale cousin to what I experienced that night earlier in the alleyway. And I just want to say on this night, happy birthday. You gave me such a great gift that night. I don't know that I could ever give you a gift to equal it. So, you know, big kiss, honey. And you don't look a day over 29.
Fabulous.
Sampat, I love you because you are strategically located on 11th and Spruce, and therefore you help me patrol the Bermudas Triangle, also known as the neighborhood, where many ships get lost and sink in the wee hours of the night.
Hello, congratulations. I'd like to say a few words about Sampat's fathering ability, all right? I met Menica before I ever met Sampat and wondered who could actually be this child's father, all right? And then when I met him, it kind of gave a whole new meaning to who Menaka was. And I want to say to him that if my son talked about me the way that your daughter talks about you, then there's nothing more to be said. You're an awesome father. She loves you, and we love you too. Have a good day.
One of my best Sampat story is, and the funniest one I think, is when we went to the French Laundry when we visited actually Christy in California. We went to Napa Valley, and then it was a kind of a last-minute reservation. We were visiting Domaine Chandon, and we were already a bit tipsy. It was kind of 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we asked the concierge to if we could make a reservation at the French Laundry, and she said, "Oh, no way! You know, this restaurant is fully booked for months in advance." But we were insistent, so she picked up the phone, and then she called, and it happened that they just had a cancellation. So we rushed to the car. We literally changed jeans. We were wearing jeans. We had to wear pants on the parking lot, and we had some dress shirts in the suitcase. And then we drove to the French Laundry. I believe we got a bit lost, but not that much. Anyway, we arrived there, and obviously it was a fantastic experience, and the food was extraordinary, and we ordered wine, and it went on for forever. And at some point, I saw that somebody was a little bit, nervous, and I couldn't understand why. It was really towards the end of the meal, and so apparently the maître d' came around each table and was, asking people about their experience. So he came around to our table. I was not facing him. I was actually facing the wall, looking at Sampat, and I heard this man behind me asking, "How are you?" And Sampat said, "Delicious."
Okay.
Happy birthday, dear Poopy. Happy birthday, dear Poopy. Happy birthday, dear Poopy. Happy birthday, dear Poopy.
Now,
Poopy, you're sneaky.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños.
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 Okay, wonderful.
happy birthday, Sampat.
Happy birthday, Sampat. I love you.
Love electricity, shockwave central, power on the motherboard.